Hello students, welcome to a beautiful platform Natural Biology. This is Shankar sir. In the previous class, I have started the life cycle of Entamoeba histolytica and given little information about the stages of its pathogens. Like trophozoite stage we have discussed, okay, pre-cystic stage we have completed, and also cystic stage, and their structure, important features we have discussed. Once go to the description, I will send the link. Okay, I will keep the link of those class, that class. Okay, so keep watch. After listening that class and you come to this class, then you can understand better about the life cycle of Entamoeba histolytica. Okay, right. Here I am directly going the life cycle of Entamoeba histolytica. Need point of view, it is very important topic. Even life cycle is not given in the need book, but it is important. The question may expect from this topic. Okay, right. And this is about the chapter 8 in NEET second year biology. Okay, what is the lesson name? Human health and diseases. Okay, and as well as Telangana government first year zoology, lesson number, not lesson, unit 6, biology in human welfare, life cycle of Entamoeba histolytica. Okay, right. First life cycle start with the trophozoite stage. Okay, which stage? Trophozoite stage. This is the stage. As we know that trophozoite stage, we have learnt what are the characteristic feature of trophozoite stage. It is active, feeding, pathogenetic stage. Okay, right. It is having the cartwheel shaped nucleus. Everything we discussed. That is why I am asking to listen that class. Okay, right. Now the trophozoites, where these are present in the mucosa and submucosa of large intestine. This is the large intestine. Now the trophozoites are present in the mucosa and submucosa of the large intestine. Here these trophozoites develops into, okay, they divides by binary fission and they increase their number. They multiple by binary fission. Binary fission nothing but divide into two equals. Okay, so likewise many binary fissions completed and many number of trophozoites increase. So more number of trophozoites are present here now. Okay, their number is more. Now these trophozoites change, convert, develop into the next stage, that is called pre-cystic stage. Trophozoites develop into pre-cystic stage. Okay, now this pre-cystic stage further develops and it will develop into cystic stage. Okay, in cystic stage it develop a cyst. Okay, a cyst over its body surface, which helps to unfavorable condition. So this formation of cyst is called encystation. Point is important. Okay, this outer green layer is called cyst wall. What it is? Cyst wall. So this stage is called cystic stage. At cystic stage, now after formation of cyst, this nucleus divide by two mitotic divisions. After two mitotic division, the nucleus become four daughter nuclei. At this condition, we can call tetranucleate cyst. Tetranucleate cyst. So trophozoite rapidly increase their number by binary fission, come to pre-cystic stage. Pre-cystic stage develop into cystic stage. After formation of cyst, nucleus divide into four daughter nuclei, then it becomes tetranucleate cyst. Okay, this tetranucleate cyst is the infective stage. It releases out of the body through fecal matter, which is also known as stool, undigested waste material. Okay, they comes out from the body through fecal matter and they get alive. They alive for nearly about 10 days outside the body in the moist soil. Okay, 10 days. If they do not reach the new host within 10 days, they will die. Okay, right. They reach the new host through contaminated food and water. When the fecal matter reach to the nearby water bodies, okay, get contaminated the water, or houseflies, cockroaches carry this fecal matter on the food material. Okay, so through contaminated food and water, they reach to the new host. Okay, right. Up to here completed. Now, when they reach to the new host, they go through the esophagus, esophagus to stomach, stomach to small intestine. Now they are in the small intestine. This is the small intestine. Okay. After reaching the small intestine, you know that there are different types of enzymes are present in the small intestine. One of such enzyme, trypsin. These trypsin of our body produce these type of enzymes. You know, digestive system, this is produced by pancreas and enter into the intestine. In intestine, in the presence of trypsin, the wall, cyst wall get dissolved, ruptured and release the entamoeba. Okay, the cyst wall get ruptured in the small intestine, release entamoeba. Okay, now this process called excistation. So this is called excisted amoeba. Exit, X nothing but exit. They come out from the cyst. Excisted amoeba. Okay. Now this excisted amoeba, also known as metacyst. Metacyst. How many daughter nuclei present? 4 daughter nuclei present, because here they are 4 in number. Now this metacyst or excisted amoeba in the small intestine undergo one more mitotic division, one mitosis. Now this 4 become 8 daughter nuclei. Okay, 8 daughter nuclei. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Each daughter nuclei get little cytoplasm and develop a plasma membrane, and they become a new metacyst. Metacystic tropocytes. We can call it metacystic tropocytes. Within few days, they reach to the large intestine. They reach to the large intestine. Again, they develop into tropocyte. Okay. After reaching the large intestine, they mature into tropocytes. This is the life cycle. Okay. Right. Sir, now here doubt. What is the pathogenesis? Means at which stage we are getting a disease, amoebiasis. Okay, that is called pathogenesis. Pathogenicity. Okay, tropocytes dissolve in the mucus. When the tropocyte reach to the large intestine, it will rupture the wall of the large intestine. Okay, this is the wall of the large intestine. If we take the larger view of the large intestine, you know, mucosa. Here the tropocytes are present. Okay, and this is the mucosa. Now they are rupturing the mucosa here. Okay, because of rupturing the mucosa, the blood vessels get ruptured, blood may release, blood may clot, and they feed on that content, especially RBCs. Hence, food vacuole having RBCs. In the first class we have discussed. Okay, so right. So rupturing the RBC, plasma membrane. Because of this reason, the fecal matter contain RBC, clotted blood. Okay, 1 second. Right, small disturbance, noise disturbance. Right, now these tropocytes rupturing the wall of the large intestine because they produce the enzyme histolysine. Okay, they release, tropocytes release the enzyme histolysine. It will lysis the mucous membrane, submucosa of large intestine. That is why, so in our body we get small wounds that are called ulcers. It may cause ulcers and abdominal pain, constipation, stool with mucus and blood clots. This point is mentioned in the NEET, NCERT. So important for NEET point of view. Okay, what are the symptoms of amoebiasis? Symptoms of amoebiasis, and this condition, this disorder or the disease is called amoebic dysentery. Okay, amoebic dysentery, also known as amoebiasis. Intestinal amoebiasis. Which type of amoebiasis? Intestinal amoebiasis. Okay, and some people do not show any symptoms. They may be asymptomatic because they are carriers. Release this type of tetranucleate cyst, hence they do not show any symptoms. Okay, so this is called pathogenicity. It causes a disease called amoebiasis, amoebic dysentery. Okay, right. Now some of the tropocytes get mature here and they go from intestine, large intestine to other parts. Migration, extra intestinal migration, or This shows because extraintestinal amoebiasis. Okay, these trophozoites may reach to the liver through circulatory system. It causes abscesses in the liver, rupturing or damaging the tissues of the liver. Damaging the tissues of the liver is called abscesses. Okay. So trophozoites enter into liver, cause abscess in the liver. From liver, it goes to lungs. It also goes to the lungs. From lungs, heart to brain, kidneys, gonads like testes and ovaries may cause abscesses in other body parts. Okay, these type of abscesses or disturbance or amoebiasis is called secondary amoebiasis. It is a severe pathological condition. Okay, secondary amoebiasis or extraintestinal amoebiasis. Okay, right. This is about the life cycle of Entamoeba histolytica. Finally, prevention. As we know that prevention is better than cure. So prophylaxis, nothing but prevention. First one, you should use boiled filtered water for drinking. Okay, boiled filtered water for drinking purpose. Okay, great. Next point, wash your hands. Okay, after the defecation or before eating, we have to wash your hands with the soap. Okay, and come to use septic tank toilets. Okay, not open toilets or no open defecation. Okay, taking the water with the boxes or something. As you know, we have seen the same situation in the villages. They will take the water in a water bottle and go to the outside defecation. That is not a good habit. Okay, we should have only use the septic tank toilets. Thereby we can avoid the spread of this entamoeba to the host. Okay, and we can prevent the contamination of water and food also even. Okay, so these are the general prophylaxis or preventive measures. Hope you understand about the total life cycle of Entamoeba histolytica. If you understand, if you like, just subscribe my channel and share the video. If you are listening for the first time, once you watch the previous videos and immediately subscribe. If you want the notification very quickly, tap on bell icon and support my channel. Thank you. In the next class, we will discuss about another life cycle, that is about Plasmodium vivax life cycle. Thank you for watching.